Hey, Dean Yeager.
Tribute to an actor that just passed away, about a month ago, isn't it now?
Yeah.
Not too long ago, but Mr. Sean Connery.
Yes.
A very talented actor, British actor. We're going to dive right into this because he's done a lot. So let's not waste any time.
Yeah, he was, 90 years old?
Yeah. He's been retired, I think, since like 2010.
He was living in a castle in Scotland.
Yeah. We should all be so lucky.
Yeah, so he did a lot of stuff previous to what we're going to start with, but I would say probably a lot of it was smaller bit parts leading up to this.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of those. We kind of went through it before we turned the camera on.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, any of it. So.
We're going to start with one that a lot of people are familiar with. I personally haven't seen, I've heard a lot about it over the years, The Longest Day, 1962.
I've seen about half of it.
Yeah.
It's a very telling war film. I mean, obviously it's John Wayne. He's going to dominate the thing, but Sean Connery does have a memorable part in it.
Okay.
So no, it's I need to see it all the way through to give a complete perspective of it, but I've seen pieces of it.
Okay. From there, he did what probably became one of the most famous legendary characters in all of cinema. Dr. No, he played 007 for the first time.
Yes.
For the first time, right?
Yes, very first time. It is good. Obviously he introduced him into the character. I liked it, and it definitely has that 60s feel to films.
You've sort of inspired me to want to, and I have to admit right now, I have seen maybe 3 James Bond films of all the actors, all the films. I've only seen 3 of them.
Sean Connery is absolute favorite for me. Daniel Craig is second. I don't want to say he's a close second, but he's definitely second. I do like him. The other ones, Roger. Yeah, I haven't.
Moore.
I've seen him. I couldn't tell you because it's been so long. But Sean Connery and Dr. No was definitely a good start to the series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was
62, I believe, 63.
Yeah, 62.
Yeah.
And then right on the heels of that, in 63, did From Russia with Love.
From Russia with Love. That used to be honestly my favorite until I went back recently and started watching them again. It is still a favorite of mine. I do enjoy it, but the older I've gotten, the more I've watched is I think it's the next one he did is my favorite. But yeah, that was another good one. Really good one.
Well, in 64, he did Marnie, which is a Alfred Hitchcock film.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's one I haven't seen. I've seen a lot of Hitchcock, not that one specifically. So that was in 64. He did Marnie with Tippi Hedren. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, what you're talking about in 64, Goldfinger.
Goldfinger is probably, it's become one of my favorites. I really enjoy it. The way it starts out, he's at some resort, if I remember right, and there's Goldfinger is there. That's the villain, and don't ask me the name because I wouldn't know. But it's great. And what the great thing about Sean Connery is, whether he's fighting somebody, he's running away from somebody, or he's following him, it's a sense of calmness to me. The actor, there's no rush to it. There's no worry about it. And I think it is Goldfinger. They have him tied up to a table, and they have some laser that's working his way up, in between his legs. It's gonna, and he's, you could tell that he's sweating a little bit, but he's remaining calm, and it's almost like I can get out of this, no problem.
He was a part of the character's a part of what, MI6 or some kind of secret, And then someone else, a friend of mine who was a longtime fan of the series, told me that the character didn't really have any martial arts skills.
No, not
He
really.
wasn't karate or ninjutsu.
Well, there's when you get to it, he does go to Japan and he kind of learns some. I would say he learned karate, but he did sort of learn
Did he?
and try to recraft, his way.
I never knew that. I thought he was.
But yeah, Goldfinger is probably one of
From there in '65, he does Thunderball.
Thunderball is really good too. That is another really good one. And if I'm not mistaken, that was kind of weird. It ends with this big fight scene like underwater. Like there's tons of people underwater and they're fighting. It's
wow.
it's
for
for
that
the 60s. Yeah,
yeah.
It's if I'm mistaken, don't hold me to that because there's so many of them. But yeah, another good one. Yeah.
Then he did one in '66. I've never seen A Fine Madness. You can sort of relate to that.
Maybe.
And then You Only Live Twice in '67.
Yeah, see that one he goes to Japan.
Okay.
That was another good one. I really enjoyed that one. But sadly, it kind of made him retire the character, and he wasn't going to come back and do it because they went to Japan to film the thing, and Japan was so engrossed in James Bond and Sean Connery playing the role. They just bombarded him everywhere he went. And as a matter of fact, and I think you can look it up online, there's a famous picture. They busted in on him while he was sitting on the John. I've never looked it up. I don't want to see that. But, he was upset.
Why did you take a Duke?
Yeah, he was very upset. So he said, I'll never do it again thanks to that. And it took, I think, almost 5 years before he did another one. So, but another good one. Yes. Love that one.
Okay, so from there, in '68, he does one I've never heard of again. Shalako.
Mm-mm.
He plays Shalako.
Yeah, right.
In '69, The Red Tent.
I think I've heard of that. I couldn't give a big comment on it because I don't think I've seen it all the way through.
It's sort of been on my radar. I've had it in my Netflix queue and, trying to find it. Not, I wouldn't say I put a whole lot of time into trying to find it, but like some other films, but I wouldn't mind seeing it at some point. Okay, from there he does, now this one I have seen. I actually own The Molly Maguires, 1970.
What's that about?
It's got to do with mining and I think precious materials and stuff like that, but there's like a little gang that's been started by Sir Richard Harris.
Oh, yeah.
And Sean Connery infiltrates. It's a heck of a film, and the two playing off each other is just amazing.
Right.
So the Molly Maguires, and then in '71, the Anderson tapes.
Oh wait, no, I thought it was something else. Sorry, omit that thumbs up.
For me, it's a huge thumbs up. Great film. It's a caper movie, and it's a different kind of caper movie. It's sort of told, and especially for that time, it's not like necessarily Memento or anything like, but it's told almost backwards to some degree. It's told in different chronological fashion than most films, and it's also notable for having the first technically the first film appearance by Christopher Walken.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He was 28 years old when he did it, but Sean Connery owns the movie. He plays the leader of the gang in the heist, which unfortunately it doesn't go very well at the end, as most heists don't in these films. But I recommend the heck out of it. I own it. I love it. I've seen it several times.
Okay.
Then probably the one you're talking about, Diamonds Are Forever.
It's good. It's centered around Vegas, if I'm not mistaken, which I love seeing Vegas back in the day. It's a very fascinating town, how it grew from nothing to what it is today. But no, it was good. Not as good as obviously the other ones, but it was still good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. '73, The Offense.
No.
I've heard of it. It's got the one that I've heard a lot about. I just can't see myself watching this and taking it seriously. Zardoz, 1974, sci-fi film in which, if I'm not mistaken, the cover for it, a lot of the still shots has, Sean Connery as the title character wearing not much, but red leather.
Next.
Yes. Murder on the Orient Express, 1974.
I think I saw that once, 100 years ago.
So I've
I
seen
know they
pieces of-
remade it.
Yeah.
It was good from what, if I remember it right. Gosh, it's been forever.
I've seen pieces of it. I need to revisit it at some point. The Terrorist in 1974.
I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it.
Same here.
Great.
Wind in the Lion.
No.
Heard a lot about it, haven't seen it. Now this I have seen. It's an excellent film. 1975, The Man Who Would Be King.
I think I've seen that.
Oh, dude, Michael Caine and Sean Connery, man. It's really, to me, it's got to be, and I know and see, this is where the divide is. I think you've seen just about all the Sean Connery 007 films.
I've seen them all.
Seen them all.
Yeah.
I haven't seen hardly any.
Shame on you.
But I've seen a lot of his other work around
I've seen
that
some
time.
of his other work too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's one of his greatest performances. The Man Who Would Be. I recommend the heck out of it, and Caine gives great support.
Okay.
Robin and Marion in '76. A lot's been made out of that.
I think
He
I've
played
seen
Robin Hood.
Yes.
Now that one I haven't seen. I probably should dedicate some time to watching that.
It was okay. I think I need to revisit it.
Okay. Yeah. I guess it's better than watching American Ninja 2 for the sixth time.
Exactly.
The Next Man in '76.
No.
A Bridge Too Far. One of the
I
defining war
really
films.
want to see that.
Yeah, I've got it. I own it. I could spend the next 20 minutes talking about how huge the cast is. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I need to see that.
And that was in '77.
Okay.
Great war film. For some reason, doesn't pop up on the radar of most people's top war films for whatever reason, which makes no sense to me. This is another good one in '78. The Great Train Robbery.
No.
That's good.
Really?
That's good. Yeah, and great support by Donald Sutherland.
Oh, then I got to see it now.
He's
I love
always
Donald
playing a
Sutherland.
weirdo, man.
No, he's a good guy.
No, I'm just saying.
Maybe.
He's well.
Mm.
At any rate, great film. Here's another one, sci-fi, Meteor in '79.
No.
I think it's pretty well maligned. That movie didn't. It's not like The Abyss. It wasn't a Cameron film now.
Oh, okay. Well, Cameron, I mean, The Abyss is not really well known either.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Cuba in '79.
Wait a minute. What's that about?
Let's see. British mercenary arrives in pre-revolution Cuba to help train General Batista's army against Castro's guerrillas so basically the formation of Castro's regime and eventual overthrow of Batista. That would be worth watching.
Sounds like it.
And I went back too far. Sorry, guys.
Shame on you.
I have to get back to my spot. Okay. In 1981, the year of my birth, he did one called Outland. Now, this was actually a good sci-fi that he did. And it's almost like a whodunit. He plays a detective in space, basically. And opposite him, as a real scumbag, is Peter Boyle, the dad from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people, that's what they remember him for. They remember him from playing the Frankenstein monster in Young Frankenstein. You know, but really, he cut his teeth on a lot of these films in the 70s and 80s playing an antagonist, and he does it well. So, yeah, I recommend that one, too. 81, he also did, it's become a sci-fi classic. I watched it. It's the same guys who did Monty Python, The Time Bandits.
No, never saw it.
Not my brand of humor, personally.
Okay.
That's me. Wrong is Right in '82. 5 Days, One Summer in '82.
Nope.
Comes back with Never Say Never Again in '83.
This was odd because it's not necessarily I forget not the actor, the author who writes the 007 series.
Fleming.
Ian Fleming, I think.
Yeah.
Ian Fleming. It's not based on that. And he's playing a 007 that's retired because he's, I think he was in his 50s at the time. But was ironic because I think Octopussy came out at the same time. and what's his name was like only a few years younger than Sean Connery, and he wasn't retired. It was kind of, I think it was kind of done on his own. They asked him, "Would you do it?" And he said, "If I do it, I want creative control." So that's why it's kind of different. It's definitely different from all the other James Bond films.
Does it fit in the continuity or not really?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch because it is Sean Connery. You know
Right.
what I mean,
From there we go to Sword of the Valiant in 1984. I don't think I've ever even heard of that before.
me neither.
All right. Well, let's just skip to 1986, The Highlander.
I've seen that once.
Yeah.
God, it's been there ages.
You know, a lot can be said about The Highlander.
Yeah.
It's created a huge fan base over the years. I forgot the guy, Paul something or another, did a TV series, and a family member of mine is a huge fan of the show and a sort of fan of the movies. The first one's pretty darn good. I'm not a huge fan of Highlander. I know people who are, you know, and I think what's his face, Christopher Lambert. He's gone to like comic conventions and stuff like that off.
Well, what else has he got going on?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it was all right.
Yeah. So from Highlander we go to The Name of the Rose in 1986.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Remember, I'm trying to think. I think I did see that. It could have something to do with Sherlock Holmes. I think.
Worth a look.
And then in 87, he does one of my favorite crime mafia movies of all time, The Untouchables.
That was good.
Yeah.
You had me watch that.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner, De Niro played Al Capone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
And really, Sean Connery, man, I know it's...
Oh, he holds his own.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be a
Costner's film.
minor role because,
But-
yeah, it's supposed to be Costner's, driving. But, yeah, he definitely holds his own.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah. Then The Presidio, which I've often wanted to see over the years, in 1988 with Mark Harmon, was another big hit back then. Memories of Me in 88.
Nope.
And then, of course, his legendary role as Indiana Jones's father in Indiana Jones' Last Crusade in 89.
Yeah, Harrison Ford came out after, we lost Sean Connery.
Yeah.
And said how much fun they had shooting it. I think he said he was kind of on the fence whether or not he wanted to do a third one, but when he found out Sean Connery was going to play his dad, he was all for it. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
He did a good job.
Yeah, he did. Family Business in 89, another one I want to see.
Gosh, I think I have, but I couldn't say anything about it.
Dustin Hoffman. Who else is that? Matthew Broderick.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if I can take it seriously.
What's wrong with Broderick? All right, let's move on before we get in an argument.
Hunt for Red October.
Oh, man. That is amazing.
Yeah.
It's long-winded. It's definitely long. It's almost like a chess game.
Yeah.
Which basically is what it is, but oh, man.
Tom Clancy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Hunt for Red October. My dad was a big fan of that one. I used to love sitting there and watching it with him. It was great. Yeah. Just great.
Probably the best out of that series, the
Jack
Ryan series.
Yeah. I'd say that.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Connery, like so many great actors, is even if the film, and most his films were really good or great, but even if the film's just sort of mediocre, he always elevates it just by being in there. He's got screen presence, man.
That's who he is.
The Russia House in 1990.
No.
This one I can honestly say I don't know if I'd ever watch again. 1991, Highlander 2.
I think I started it, but I didn't finish it.
Dude, that's atrocious, man. That's bad.
Let's not talk bad about him. He's not with us anymore.
Right, good point. Yeah. It's not his fault.
It's not never his fault.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
That was great.
Yeah, King Richard
shows up at the end. Oh man, that's probably to me one of the best cameos, especially one out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that was great. And then to me, that's why they did that parody with Prince of Thieves with Patrick Stewart showing up at the end. Robin of Locksley. agree.
And I don't think he was even. I think it was a total surprise for everyone. I don't think they advertised that.
Well, it was a lot easier to get away with that. You know, you don't have
didn't
the
have social
IMDb
media.
and all that
Yeah,
stuff to
that's
look
right.
at. So yeah,
Medicine Man in '92. I liked it.
I seen it. I don't think I've seen it all the way through, but I think I've seen all of it.
Yeah, pretty good film. I
Not
think they
bad.
were researching a cure for cancer.
Yeah.
Go from there to another one of my favorite films of his, Wesley Snipes and him and Rising Sun in '93.
That was good.
That was was great.
I like
that
film.
film.
Yeah.
A Good Man in Africa in '94. I haven't seen it.
No.
And then '95, another one of my favorites, him and Lawrence Fishburne, Just Cause.
I don't think I've seen that all the way through.
Oh, that's worth it, man. That's worth just like Rising Sun, just really worth it.
Okay.
And he does a great job. Lawrence Fishburne, if it's possible, he almost overshadows Connery. He's great.
Fishburne's a great actor.
Yeah. First Night '95. I don't know that I ever saw that.
Isn't that Richard Gere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom liked it
It's
because of
okay.
Richard Gere.
It's okay.
Is it?
Yeah, it's okay.
Dragonheart '96. That was a big thing back then
Yeah.
because of the CGI. Because Sean Connery voiced Drago. Yeah. That was a big deal back then. I remember, huge deal.
Yeah.
Marketing and all that. '96, The Rock.
You know, I think they had good intentions. You put this stellar cast together with Nick Cage, Sean Connery, Michael Biehn, Ed Harris, and then that's where my knowledge runs out. But I know you know all the other ones. But all of these character actors, and the story was just too weak. It's just.
Well, I mean, who was that Bay and?
Yeah, I think it was Bay.
Forgot the other guy. Bruckheimer was Bruckheimer involved.
I'm sure Bruckheimer produces. I think he produces all of Bay's films.
Yeah, it was the explosions were everywhere, and it's one of those things like Con Air, any of the other films they do. It's thin on plot. You're going in knowing you're going to eat some popcorn.
Con Air's got some plot to it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about Con Air. We're talking about
All right, okay.
Rock.
All right. Anyway,
but yeah, you again thin on plot. You got a lot of actors in it. I like how they go to Alcatraz, all that stuff. It's just anyway.
You know what you
Sean Connery's performance was good.
Yes.
Yeah. And we'll just leave it at that.
Then in '98, he did a film adaptation of the TV show, the British TV show, The Avengers.
I never saw it.
Yeah, it was a big deal back in, I think, the '60s. The Avengers, they were spies of some sort. And he plays, I think, the bad guy in this. I never saw it, though. Playing by Heart, '98. I didn't see that.
Nope.
Another big deal, late '90s, 1999, him and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes.
Entrapment.
Yes. I don't think I've seen the ending. I've seen 90% of it, but I don't think I remember how it ended. I know that one of the big things is they go to that, I think it's South Africa or wherever they have those towers. They were the tallest buildings in the world at one point.
Okay.
And they have that sky bridge that connects them. And there's one point where they're actually like outside, like underneath that sky bridge or something. It's pretty interesting.
I have to admit, I don't think I ever saw it.
I mean, it's not a go run out and see it, but if you ever have the time and you come across it, I'd say watch it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No taking there. Finding Forrester in 2000.
No.
I think I saw a part of that, and that was pretty darn good. That was pretty good. And then ultimately we come down to last film he made theatrically. As far as live action, it was 2003. It was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I haven't seen it all the way through. Guy used to, he was a big fan of that movie. He always said that line where he's like, "I'm waiting to be impressed." I had a friend of mine who was a big fan of that movie. I haven't taken the time to watch it all the way through.
That line right there, I think the vast majority of people could apply that to the film.
Yeah.
I personally thought it was great. I always loved it. Listen, it's not his little cameo.
It's not an Academy Award.
No, it's not 007. It's not. And really, what it boils down to, it may not have been the best, but from what I understand with Connery, it set the production difficulties he had. He said it was the worst production he ever, and he goes, it was because of this film he stopped acting.
Well, that sucks.
And that's terrible. That's terrible.
But just like Gene Hackman, you hit a point where you're like, I don't really need to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So, but wow, that was the last one. 04, yeah. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always been a fan of him. Obviously there's stuff I need to revisit and stuff I need to see. Period. But always was a fan of Sean Connery. Like I said, he always just seemed to be calm. It was just the sense of calmness when he was on screen. So
yeah, just one of the great old lines of cinema, man, that we lost. That, like you said, he was the man's man. He was the actor's actor. He just maybe not a lot what you see anymore, I guess.
That's true.
But there you have it.
That's our tribute to Sean Connery. The late great Sir Sean Connery.
Yes, sir.
Anything out there that you've seen and you like, let us know. Let us know in the comments what you thought of Miss Sean Connery, and I guess that's it.
Yeah.
All right. See you later.
Take care.